Get the Tifa's glorious udders out of here, Square. You don't know how to make action games. So is it worth it? A question with two meanings, even as we're regaled with what is a clip show of the last episode you may or may not have watched that ends on a cliffhanger with Batman being dipped into acidic pee or whatever. In this case, should you buy FF7 Rebirth on PC, and should you even play FF7 Rebirth? Unless you've already played Remake, Integrate, Crisis Core, that spin-off with a vampire, watched the movie sequel, played the original lately, played the original when it came out, played the original and liked it when it came out, or played the original lately because you can't remember if you played the original when it came out or liked it when it came out. All that just for Fox News to give you another literal recap of everything that happened immediately before. So what the f was even the point of the first recap? That only gets even more pointless because as it turns out, everything that happened might have happened in an alternate timeline, so who the f even cares? In this reality, everybody died. The end. Yeah, even the dog died. Also the bitch.
Hey man, feeling any better?
Not really, considering I paid money for this. I mean, I think FF7 is the third, definitely top 5 Final Fantasy games, and admittedly spent far too much time analyzing the plot through the use of the same kind of scientific study, usually admissible in the Italian Senate, so I'm well familiar with the source material, and still find the opening of the game somewhat jarring and disjointed.
Home sweet home, right?
Whereas for the layperson, this is basically spending money to get punched in the face. And then getting fondled without consent by an older fellow whom everybody assures you is totally not a predator. I mean, here I am wandering around this one hallway marveling at the painstaking detail with which the old pre-rendered map was transferred into a fully explorable 3D environment. How old was she in here again? Because I got some stuff written down that I don't know if I should say since I don't want to end up on a list somewhere. And getting teary-eyed at the nostalgic significance of this photo and the absolutely stunning sense of scale that some artists obviously work very hard on.
Business trips, which are no fun at all.
Though you do learn stuff on them.
And meanwhile, you're like, well, at least it's AAA. Where the f am I? Why are you making me vacuum the floor? When did this even happen? At least it's very AAA. And most importantly, who the hell are these people, and is this part just random padding?
On me.
That was insane.
Because I'm pretty sure in the original, they just kind of walked up some stairs and got to the reactor. Damn, this game is like a dozen A's already. We're not worthy, Square.
And once they understood what she was.
This tedious slow walking isn't helping anybody. It's barely a sprained ankle. I pity the person who bought this with no prior understanding or knowledge of what this scene stood for, because otherwise this would make no fucking sense. I like the original take better. Neither does this.
Question. Does that make me a dumbass?
I mean, FF7 distilled down to its bare essence is essentially just this.
Here, look.
And Gwent, I guess. And also Michael Jackson as a drug dealer. Man, I'm an old fan and even I'm confused now.
The first customization is always free.
Sure, whatever. Oh wait, we just also remembered it's supposed to be a JRPG. Oh my various religious gods, this game has so many A's it's probably got its own special section in the supermarket where they sell all the good Canadian beef. The best Canadian beef. Everybody says so, buy Canadian.
On a date, kind of. What?
Bitch!
Well, now the world has opened up and so does the game after that prolonged opening, which would probably have already driven off any and all newcomers, so that's at least worth like 2 more A's and maybe even 2.3.
It's the least I could do for 2 such lovely young ladies. I do.
Master Roshi? 1 more A because it has fighting in it. The indigenous dog is like, I'm probably the less blatant racial character here. Because the black guy is a fucking idiot. A cushion? What the kind of coddle baby are you? You can sit on that broken bench and learn splinters in your ass builds character. All her brains are in her boobs and the other one is a...
Bitch!
Thing is, we don't have that kind of money.
But all 3 of us did work as professional prostitutes, so I'm sure we can come to some kind of agreement.
Kid's a born businessman.
Oh my Shinto deities. How many A's is this now? I've completely lost count.
Don't you?
F off.
That's your first target.
All the way off. Also 1 more A. That chicken has no asshole. This is just padding again because I'm pretty sure I would have remembered a giant water snake fight. And so is this, come to think of it.
Careful down there!
fucking moron. That's like half an A, because it's not as creative as the vacuum thing before. That's another half an A because I don't know what the hell this is.
Sorry, but I gotta say it. This mission, it makes no sense.
Assholes.
Who's there?
Moron. Whatever they're paying the in-game cutscene director is obviously not enough. Whatever they're paying their fight engine guy is, well, at least he's enthusiastic, but honestly, why couldn't we just stick with turn-based? Whatever the f that was, I'll admit the characters are still at least very charming, violent shitheads. And then we fight an Elden Ring boss for some reason. See, what is for the OG fan the very real chance to see the imaginations of their childhood fully realized in splendid detail just doesn't hit the same way without prior experiences to draw upon, which at this point is about a doctorate's thesis worth of over-explaining every detail, and then you can somehow convince yourself this isn't the stupidest sentient creature to have ever existed in fiction and cannot possibly fathom how they're supporters of a misleading narrative that somehow she's the centerpiece to this whole story.
$500,000?
Also this kid. Okay. How old was she in here again? Because I got some stuff written down that I don't know if I should say, since I don't want Square to end up on a list somewhere because they fucking animated this scene. Also, you need to have played the Yuffie DLC for this to make sense. Seriously, go watch my other videos. F off. What the f? Okay, just have all the A's. Don't mind me, just a wanted criminal wandering around a military base without a disguise, messing with your computers for giggles. Well, I mean, I got hired along with my 2 wives, so chalk up a point for equal opportunities employment, which just proves, if anything, we need more DEI in the modern world. Okay, I laughed genuinely at this part. I mean, you can't fault the game for trying, and one has to applaud the sheer effort and production values put into something as essentially unnecessary as the corporate fascist parade minigame. I'm talking. When you'd fully expect some corner cutting to occur, if only for the parts that weren't even f***ing a part of the original vision, like this shit, and the part where they book a cruise vacation to— no, I'm not kidding. Yes, I will not partake in your blatant nonsensical padding. This can probably stay. At this point, I think we've safely established the game simply isn't worth your time or money unless you played Remake and the Yuffie DLC for good measure, but the remake itself is probably not worth your time or money either unless at the very least you played the original. Playing the original today means to the generation not raised on this timeless chime, bored perplexion at the adulations these misshapen origami figures received for decades now. In fact, I'd say the whole point of this video was to convince all those cum stains who think Final Fantasy XII is a relic to stay the f*** off my lawn, where I heartily invite all of the rest of you to come over so we can all masturbate to our childhoods in peace. In that regard, the jury's still out on Rebirth, and indeed this whole remake alternate history trilogy, but I'm inclined to give it the benefit of the doubt, especially since they've now paid for an all-expenses fan service trip to Hawaii. Is FF7 Rebirth even canon within the Final Fantasy universe? Well, I don't know about that yet, but the game sure feels pretty f***ing good about itself, I'll tell you what.
I tell you what.
We are pretty cool.
It's also really humble.
If you were to hire yours truly as your counselor of cool.
And horny, but in a very confusing way for old fans who might or might not remember every detail about the original. Tifa! Besides Tifa's tits. Like, who the hell is this guy? I don't know, was this part even in the original? F*** off, the best card game came out later in 1999, everybody knows that. Okay, so aside from the fact that there's a very real, surprisingly elaborate anime fan service beach episode built into the game that you can't even skip, I'd say there's no reason at this point to completely dismiss it as being non-canon no matter how much of an asshole tourist Cloud is being, along with stereotypical male prostitute Barrett as they stalk the incessant and totally unwarranted bullying of sleepwalking zombies.
Ready.
Also, with the amount of crazy shit and crazy shit minigames in Final Fantasy over the years, who's to say Rocket League wasn't actually invented in Midgar? What the living shit? What the f kind of obsession does the Japanese have with segways? At this point, it's not even eco-awareness, it's a fucking cult. Wait, what? Tifa can be an asshole too, watch this.
Leave your aching feet and ride a wheelie instead.
Also these. Motherfucker, you know what? No, I'm not letting this go. Don't go anywhere.
You might want to go first.
That's some sage advice, Mr. Pasty.
Yeah, dumbass white people. And then they fight monsters in beachwear. I don't know, I'm pretty inclined to accept this is canon at this point because the sheer stupidity of this entire chapter almost comes off as mostly endearing, especially when observed next to the po-faced seriousness the last mainline entry stubbornly held onto for the duration of its runtime. It couldn't even find any time for a smile from its own naked people on the beach. Whereas meanwhile we have here... Okay, one more look before we have to move on. Yeah, put your pants back on. We have to actually play the rest of the game now. And revisit all the landmarks of our youth now rendered in admittedly splendid detail. What the f is wrong with you now? Hurry up or I'm leaving you for the one with the big tits and working ankles. Well, at least the game isn't light on all the modern quality of life features. What the hell, zombies get free air travel and I had to walk all this way? Come to think of it, I'm honestly not even sure the zombies were in the original. Because I think I would have remembered fighting a giant robot tractor on top of a mountain.
Why waste time monster hunting?
Monster Hunter Wilds comes out in 2 weeks and yes, I am looking forward to it. So is this part now canon? But wouldn't that completely negate everything that was alluded to having happened in the original and depicted to have actually happened in that dumb shit spin-off game in addition to the implied sexual mischief Zack has gotten up to in this new timeline with his comatose girlfriend?
And I can't leave her with you. You didn't even wipe her face.
And then we just bounce back to the actual characters we care about apropos of nothing. Oh well, at least the skyboxes are pretty and almost worth the price of admission alone. This game is the most AAA game to have ever AAA'd. She must have crushed her tailbone doing that. Oh man, she must have brain damage from headbutting all those sturdy crates.
We have to help them.
No, we don't go after Sephiroth. Stop patting the game out. You know, it is getting quite hard to figure out how seriously we're supposed to be taking this game, especially when it has the tendency to go literally off the rails like during this impromptu roller coaster ride that it's currently making me play through, which is then followed up by an admittedly cute joke that nonetheless only serves to further stretch out what passes for the main plot in Rebirth.
That is...
Oh man, black guy literally lives in the slums with other black people. I forgot this part was in the original.
that bitch.
Bitch!
And then they go to Vegas, where Cloud is still an asshole tourist. I don't even... Oh right, there was a talking cat in this game. And once again, with a sickening lurch, the game abruptly shifts gears back to the alternate reality or whatever, so you can watch yourself getting cucked. As if the gold saucer stopover wasn't abrupt and tonally inconsistent enough even back in 1997. So Vegas and Disney World where you can teach your kids the merits of compulsive gambling, got it. Also play Star Fox. And about 20 other minigames the game insists you have to try before it pushes on with the main plot. Hey Tifa, let's steal this giant plushie.
Hello, and welcome to Park Central.
Oh damn, that huge yellow chicken was such a turn on.
Shit.
Oh my Genova, where are you putting my hand? And then the game hits the brakes again to sell the dog and the robot cat into sexual slavery. Just so I can play more entirely mandatory, completely optional minigames that all culminate in earning enough cabbages so I can feed a giant mutant chicken, that then I'm forced to play a round of a really watered down version of Mario Kart. At this point, I don't even remember what a Sephiroth is anymore. Because this entire chapter is dedicated to Bear's own personal struggles against an old enemy, guilty of, I'm not kidding here, killing 2 Shinra soldiers. The same idiots I've been slaughtering by the dozens for dozens of hours now, that's somehow worth fighting a frog CEO and an elaborate car chase boss fight over, which all seems to be in serving of leasing you a buggy in order to get to the next portion of the actual story. off. Oh shit, some guys with sticks. Who is she?
So, this Zach guy, you still like him?
I mean, I'd kind of like to make sure where we're standing before leaving junior high.
Alert! Alert! Danger!
Off. Where am I even? It's the flying turds what's making a mess of the cannon to begin with. Is this plug USB compatible? And then we fight a Resident Evil boss, followed by the other lady with the big tits. Also, we can finally be rescued by the girls making some use of the oversized mushrooms I didn't care enough about to listen to in the descriptions earlier. Also, we get a hook shot because FF7 Rebirth might as well just be every game ever made, right? And after we beat the sexy CEO, Cloud apparently goes nuts and Tifa has to bring him back to his senses with her tits again. Would you believe this part is actually the closest we've gotten to finding out whether or not this game is canon up until now? No, I'm not going to show you. Instead, let's get reintroduced to some old friends along with implied racism, which is the only excuse I can think of for the minority and indigenous stereotypes to be made to sit at the back of the plane like depicted here. And then to be whisked away to the absolute worst and most boring part of the story where the Mandarin teaches your dog the value of friendship. Before we go through some more trials to graduate from pet school and the dumb shit natives from Avatar tell you about a black materia that you should be looking for.
People.
Excuse me, am I intolerant too?
All this while I'm thinking as an acknowledged scholar of FF7, I'm pretty sure this alternate take should be considered canon if only it was considered enough not to burden us with all the unnecessary padding that only serves to make me want to fly away and stop giving a shit altogether.
I'll see you when I see you!
Okay, so what is the point of this at this point? Somebody tell me. Anyone? Is it piano lessons? That can't be it because as far as I know, I should be teaching the game how to play this piece. Is it? What the hell is this? Okay, so the final third of Rebirth makes it canonically the final 6 of the first disc of Final Fantasy VII, the original 1997 iteration, which then makes it the 6 out of a possible 18 parts that this remake will likely need in order to reach the ending we all of us got after a month of dedicated hard work every day after school until our parents came home.
Ask anyone around here. I'm the best there is.
Damn, at what age were you sold into professional prostitution, girl? My steadfast refusal to do my homework in the early late 90s seemed a sound decision considering, like many of you, Final Fantasy VII was my first introduction to my own puberty. But today, I honestly don't even know at this point, and really, that's what's wrong with the whole remake saga, isn't it? So you just press up, right? It's less platforming than a really awkward hallway. It's like 5 AAAs put together.
And tremble in fear when they see the wire beads coming in hot.
You shut up, man.
Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? What point are you trying to make by making it take so long? Is it the admittedly stellar production values? Does it just cost that much more time and effort to render Tifa's tits, not pictured, in the 2020s that we can, charitably speaking, look forward to finishing the remake trilogy? Yeah, right, sure it is, because there's still 2/3 of the game left to go before the inevitable attempted and failure to annex Canada.
A message from the government of Canada.
Hojo.
Ray or Mojo.
I can jump 80 feet in the air in a fight with a cactus, but I have to use a f***ing Muppet for this just to get on an elevator. That's a lot of A's. Oh my Buddha, how long does this go on for? The living fuck? Why can't I just climb over? This is optional but unskippable? Well, then it's not optional anymore, is it? Yeah, I looked up the code on a walkthrough. I'm not jumping through any more hoops. So I do appreciate spotlighting the different characters because usually the ones not in your immediate party just get benched for the whole game, but I could have done without the crappy minigames. Oh my Jehovah, I forgot this moron was even in the game. What am I? He's hallucinating too? F*** off, that's my gimmick. F*** you, you emo prick. So he's not coming with us then? F*** off.
I don't know you!
This is why you don't fire everybody at the FAA. Oh look, it's a ship now. Look out, it's a black guy. Okay, you know what? Let's just go back to Vegas.
Will you be my champions and go to war against Don Corneo?
I'll do it.
You violent bitch.
Bitch!
They say curiosity kills the cat.
No, Zach, why am I still playing this game? I thought part of it was the intrigue of seeing a completely different alternate take on the canon. Once the teaser at the end of the first part of the remake of the first third of the actual game showed you survived your narrow brush with being John Marston out of existence. But now that I've finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm honestly flabbergasted at how little that entire plotline ever comes up. You, Zach, were barely in this game at all. No, really. It came all the way back from, at this point, almost 3 decades of certain death, only to wipe the asses of your comatose girlfriend and boyfriend. Then briefly befriend one of the nobodies nobody cared about, tried to learn how to drive a motorcycle, and then it gets confusing. Oh shit, I must have f***ed up. I was supposed to go on a date with the hot one. So the concert is VR? Why are we all here then? What the f***? You idiots have no taste. Now it wants me to play Dragon Quest for some reason.
With the cat.
Oh man, black guy is the evil boss. Why even bother, Japan? Bored.
And let the world know your heart.
I honestly should pick the dog at this point, but some still consider bestiality a taboo. Sorry dude, I think we should just be friends. What the hell? Whatever money they spent on this entire part probably could have paid for another Avowed, honestly.
What an asshole.
Okay, now it's just getting silly. She brought them back to life with singing. What the f*** are you smoking, game? A career in theater which was never even hitherto established as being part of the bitch's aspirations. So honestly, I'm more confused than anything at what just happened. On top of everything, the funny date you can only get by f***ing up the friendship meters so much that nobody attractive wants to hang out with you isn't even that funny.
Open the doors! Let me off!
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Let's just go back to the actual plot. Hey, so while I'm participating in sanctioned MMA death matches, can anybody tell me what was the point of that one Ubisoft employee in the game who just wants me to catalog icons on a map and climb towers? That little shit wasn't even in the original and had no reason to be in the remake, because whatever his interest in cartography has nothing to do with the multiversal plot of why the hell am I still playing this game. Hold on, gotta kill a pimp.
Be the first lucky link.
I mean, honestly, where can I tip the cutscene fight coordinator? Because he deserves an extra Canadian dollar for this awesomeness. Rufus was the Cody Rose of his era with all that pyro. Now what am I doing? Huh? So the Cetra were Minecraft people.
Aye aye!
So anyways, about Zack, as far as I can tell, he dies in about 20 more alternate timelines, then gets roped into a cameo fight with your amnesiac alter ego for all of something like 3 minutes, that I'm 600% sure was only included to be put into trailers and other promotional material, then f*** off to what looks like purgatory, while shilling the sequel to the audience in order to find out just what the f***ing hell the last hour of gameplay was drunkenly shouting about. Yeah, I'm skipping ahead. All of that will come up just as soon as... Why are we... F*** you, game. So, was this what the previous dancing was leading up to? I've officially run out of A's to give this game. I've seen cooler.
I say we put this big asshole to work.
I too agree with the slavery of sentient beings. Oh, now we get to work with these jerks. Well, that didn't last long.
Humans.
Is this the substitute outcome of this timeline? Because you know he just has to stab somebody. No more flashbacks. We're almost done. No. F*** off. Get out of here.
What if...
Don't f***ing care. Is the timeline being put to rights so we can actually have the actual remake we're supposedly sold? Okay, so now we can fight the final boss and no, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you know what? I thought the whole point of the multiversal plot of the re-sequel make irresponsibly budgeted fanfiction hinged on the possibility of saving this ditzy bitch, who is a self-admitted moron.
Does that make me a dumbass?
And racist.
Am I intolerant too?
But even that's completely bungled when the best you can do is some weird whiplash attempt to placate both the purists and the new fans who don't even know who the f this bitch is, because their parents were not of legal age to consummate a marriage when she first ate a Masamune through the spine is to make her a ghost. Yes, I am skipping ahead again.
Ta-da!
Oh my Genova, the padding.
The reunion.
Yes, I know that's the name of the third game. How does this one end? Tell me. Okay, what the... Sephiroth! Hey, remember when I said how this team up was only made up for the purpose of being put into the trailers to lure in suckers?
Soldier! We're not done here!
That's just the f***ed up looking thing from Metaphor ReFantazio.
Let's end.
No, I want the one with the big tits. the ghost that only Cloud can see. So he's hallucinating even more, and are we gonna find out at the end of the third and final game that this really was a fever dream all along when he wakes up in the ruined church in the lap of the aforementioned idiot bigot, having essentially dreamed the entire next 30 years of human civilization progress. Well, that would honestly be a tick in the plus column given how I would rather wake up tomorrow morning to find Hong Kong is being returned to China, and I can go watch Face Off for the first time in theaters instead of the absolute dung show global geopolitics has become. Just give up, this remake is shit. Well, no it isn't. That's Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Black Sigma 1, whatever. Kicking your ass before kicking your ass was mainstream, let down only by the asinine backtracking and key hunting. That was 1 part Resident Evil and 3 parts the parts of Elden Souls where you try to figure out where the f the game wants you to go, in order to start having some fun. Now this one's awesome. Off. I want it on record that I do like Souls-likes. Well, the official ones at least. Well, one of the official ones. More so than the others, and I do enjoy its somber, dark fantasy story that's subtle and understated, but what I like even slightly more than that as a world-renowned professor of literature is anime ladies with big tits getting tied up by evil ninjas, who's then rescued by a good ninja all the while without any visible changes in her countenance, possibly because her face is as plastic as her boobs. I also like this a lot. See, straight to the point. Fiends, Archfiend. Stab the shit out of those two things, and now we have drama. Also ninjas. I think whoever designed the dismembering system deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. The gist of it is simple. Lop off a limb, perform coup de grace. Fail and... Also, sidebar pro tip. Hold block after a kill and dead souls stay where they are. Head stomp and immediately hit and hold heavy attack to suck in all the souls at once to be able to do this. You'll need it, trust me. Also, get the stick. It's the best stick. See, this is why Ryu stands head and shoulders above any number of named the zombie soul protagonists, with maybe possibly the exception of the robot. Because, and I do want this part narrated in full so you understand the significance of it, Ryu is the type of person to come to this tall building looking to rescue from the top floor. At which point, instead of fighting his way up the building, he immediately climbs to the top of a completely different building across the street, just to strike a cool pose, then jump off and crash headfirst into the lobby of the first building, so he can kill every motherfucker in the place for reasons which escape my limited understanding, except to say, the coolest equivalent thing I ever did in Elden Ring was to stab some homeless people in the back, who were really just kind of minding their own business. There you go. That's what happens when you don't kill people with medical disabilities fast enough. Oh, hey, where's Boobies? And then you fight Spider Ninja Gandalf.
You shall not pass!
Who in his death throes allows you to perform the Ninja Gaiden's ADHD version of a QTE, which isn't actually timed, so I guess it's just a QE. Oh yeah, I didn't even want these tits, I got my own. She's actually the least overtly sexual historical director at Langley, believe it or not.
Joe Hayabusa.
Also, Ryu's dad is named Joe. You know a game is special when the carefully choreographed action in the cutscenes is comparatively tame, and can't even hold a candle to the crazy shit you can do for yourself in-game. I honestly forgot I had these. Also, Ryu is Jesus. Did you even know he was Jesus? He's also Wolverine. The reason I said I forgot I even had healing items is because the combat flows so well, is so fast and frantic, that concerns about your own safety is secondary at best to the notion that you're always just one move, one more combo away from pulling it off, and you really don't want to back off lest you miss the happy ending. One inch lower and he would have come all this way for nothing. See, while Sekiro Wolf was busy studying the ways of the blade and the ways of stepping on other people's blades like an asshole, Ryu was watching pro wrestling and deciding that tombstone pile drivers really should begin 15 feet in the air and end with a splash. Ah, you missed. And after going back to Vito Japan, you next fight Sephiroth, sexually harassing the Statue of Liberty. Man, this game never gets boring. How long do you think it takes Ryu to climb all the way up to those tall places that he then jumps off? Why is this guy sparkling? Is he a vampire? Thanks for doing my job for me, I guess. Oh, fuck you. No, this is really a good stick. What the f? Don't bother with the stick, just shoot the big face in the face. Are you doing the soul-sucking thing I taught you to do? You should be doing the soul-sucking thing I taught you to do. That guy wants to kill me so much, he's developed a blind spot for subway pillars and trash cans. What the shit is? If I could do this in a Souls game, finding my way around might actually be fun. Oh shit, f you. Ryu is a good boy who obeys road signage. And then you fight a big turd. Where the only tip I have is to go for the shins like the midget you are. Okay, are we really sure there wasn't a mistranslation somewhere and she really works for the American Tourism Board and not the CIA? Next time you go to the Statue of Liberty gift shop, make sure to get the big ass sword from the Japanese museum. What the hell? Oh, this guy is so
I recognize that stink.
The boss isn't so bad, so as long as you stay the f away from his cheap unblockable throws. Yeah, like that one. F you, Sephiroth Thor. Anyways, that ends the tour of the United States of Canada portion of the globetrotting adventure. And what's up next is the story of a small Japanese boy's puberty awakening at the hands of more tits. Playable once this time. Honestly, this is a nice little interlude if you just want to f around for 15 minutes or so and light some people on fire. What the? Because the combat is just that much fun and head and shoulders above what has sadly become the norm over the last decade. Yes, it does have a counter. No, it's not absolutely important, you need to learn how to do it, but it sure is fun to pull off.
I expected the Dragon Ninja.
Wow, sexist much?
Is that you?
Sanji, oh, you're all right.
And then we go all the way to Venice, where illegal immigration has led to a startling rise in violent crimes against the local populace. Oh right, get the nunchucks, they're even better than the stick. There you go, puzzles solved. These are my kinds of puzzles. There you go, platforming solved. These are my kinds of platforming. You know, I'm only using the stick until I get enough money to fully upgrade my nunchucks. Ow! What the shit, you fucking... Come on, dive. Why won't you... How the f does... I'm only using the stick because the nunchucks can't reach. So, there you have it. Better combat, better tits. Has the official backing of the CIA, and I never got lost because to find out where to go, just look for the stuff that you haven't killed yet. A breath of fresh air in this era. But be sure to join me next time as we keep playing this true masterpiece and make unfavorable comparisons to other plotting RPGs masquerading as action games, while furthering debates about over-sexualization in video games. No, not her. Did you even see Ryu's bodysuit? It's riding up into his ass crack, and frankly he's setting a very unrealistic standard for what male asses can ever aspire to look like anywhere, especially for people who sit on them all day to play good video games. So the first thing you're wrong about Ninja Gaiden 2 is that it's a remake of a 2008 game on the Xbox 360. Show of hands, who here actually remembers the first Ninja Gaiden 2? Hands down, you lying little shit, your dad wasn't even born in 1988. I mean 1990, whatever. Pro tip, hit the skeleton monster in its glowing non-existent dick. Oh shit, I almost got lost there. Speaking of... The second thing you're wrong about is thinking Ninja Gaiden 2 was always one of the classics of the true action genre, where the impetus isn't on stats or a story implied or explicit, or getting lost every time you turn a corner because the game is very inconsiderate towards those who might be directionally challenged, but rather butchering your way through every single thing that exists down this corridor, which was unfortunately gifted by the developer gods with an animation cycle. These are pretty good sticks too, but not as good as the other two. This isn't a stick.
Not a Colosseum.
I thought we were in Venice. F you.
Die!
Pro tip, avoid getting hit by his big stick with a knife on the end of it, and hit him with your own smaller sticks, and then you can steal his big stick with a knife on the end of it. So I mean, I guess all this time you could have just called the army. Are her boobs ray traced? I can't tell, I think they are. The first remake, what put the series on the map, was exactly the kind of game where you got lost turning a corner, because you needed keys and something Dead or Alive crossover, lots of bouncing tits. You're also wrong about a lot more, which we'll definitely get into in a little bit, hook, line, and sinker. So all this time we could have just called like one American. Magic powers suck. One of the ways you're wrong, as it turns out, is to think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is best played on a PC or a PlayStation, or that other thing, swiftly sliding into utter irrelevance. And no, it's not on the Nintendo Switch, I checked. It would make that console catch fire. Where the f is the Switch 2, Nintendo? My body is ready. Oh shit, this is the coolest level in the game. No lie, watch this. Women drivers. Ryu is now fighting robots and Metal Gear Solid terrorist ninjas with nunchucks. We have officially peaked as a species in terms of entertainment. Oh well, definitely get these. Ryu is also almost bulletproof.
How many times will you stand in our way?
At least 2 more, I played this game before. See, I love this. Spontaneous second boss fight against hitherto unintroduced kaiju. Say what?
Fire!
And then a monster destroys Russia, making the greatest national leader of our lifetimes very happy.
None have survived.
Are you sure this isn't actually Canada? Actually, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is best played on the Steam Deck I don't actually own. That will probably explain the somewhat low-res video footage of gameplay you see throughout this video, because as soon as you turn a few sliders down and lower the resolutions a bit, okay, a lot, okay, to the point where the sliders can't slide anymore to the left without falling into communism, you think you're the only one with a bazooka? I hate these ghost fish. Off. No, seriously, these are not the best sticks. The advice of this one is just wait till he comes down. What the hell kind of sense does that make? You're a fire god.
For the village.
Hey look, more tits. Wait a minute, I recognize these. And then turn on every available AI upscaling black magic this little pocket PC will allow to render frames you don't actually have. You'll still have, well, not particularly agreeable footage for an action game, noted for its difficulty and demand for responsive controls and lightning quick reflexes. But at least you can play it while taking a fairly healthy shit now, because none of the levels last very long. Her powers are pink because she's a girl, you see. The advice here is, ow, f***. Whatever, I win. Also, I recognize that ass. Oh man, look, Ryu is being a ninja and everything. I'm very stealthy. The game does not lack for enemy variety. Just look at the maggots and pirate mutants with arm cannons. I peed in that river, sorry. With this boss, the tip is to play a lot of Monster Hunter. Oh cool, Ryu's boss fights are now trash mobs, because you're just so much better than you were in level 1. See, even these guys know it. I don't know whose idea was to put ray tracing into this game, because frankly, I never noticed ray tracing much in any of the games I played, because I am a handsome man who actually wants to play the games I own, and not just want to admire my own handsome reflection in a puddle before writing 3 essays about it on the internet. I don't even think you can turn off ray tracing in this game. If you could, it'd probably save the deck from coughing up another lung. But to be quite honest, any 3 nanoseconds you're spending not bouncing through the scenery or slitting up a motherfucker is time wasted, because you could be doing something worthwhile with your life, like buying more Ubisoft stock. No, really, that stock has tanked. It has nowhere to go but up, trust me, bro. The advice here is women shouldn't turn ugly, because men will beat you with a stick. And then flush you down a toilet.
Wait.
Her eyes are up there. You, that's my move. See? The next thing you're wrong about is thinking I'm wrong, because even though the graphics has received a generous upgrade from what was available by the Beijing Olympics, the level design and overall aesthetic ceiling is still stuck in the 360 era. Sure, whatever cutscenes can't compare to what you can do in the game. Keep jumping off tall stuff, Ryu. Boss rush incoming. Off. Which means for every kick-ass level set in a futuristic cyberpunk Tokyo, or a feudal-era Kyoto, or I don't know, a very introverted Japanese person's idea of New York and Venice, which I'm pretty sure didn't have a coliseum in it, you also get a bajillion levels set in caves and sewers in the Amazon rainforest, which just kinda looks like Florida swampland, and reused but noticeably smaller maps of the Rome and Prohibition-era Chicago maps for those interludes where you start asking uncomfortable questions like, where are the big-titted ladies this series and entire expanded franchise is known for? Because my thumbs are hurting and I need a break to play the game one-handed to give my wrists a workout for a change. Idiot. This is everybody who's not good at action games watching you play. How did she even get here? Those levels do exist and look about on par with the rest, and let me tell you, slightly worse graphics are a lot easier to stomach, and the benefits of Trace Rays a lot more difficult to notice when the latter half of the game takes place exclusively in the Master Demon's Colon. The game is not misogynistic, I swear. See, she's okay. It's the gameplay that ultimately saves it, and undeniable that when the gameplay is already doing the heavy lifting by distracting you from graphics that are, no matter which way you cut it with claws on your hands and feet, dated to the point that you'll be doing yourself a massive service by playing it on a comparatively teeny tiny screen with the resolution lowered anyways. At this point, if you still need advice, you can probably just go play Call of Duty or something, because otherwise you're totally not worthy of this epic loot. It sucks, go back to the stick. Oh shit, the game really did turn into Call of Duty. So her real name is Irene Law, how did I even know that? Yeah, the final boss is Diablo, which is more than I can say for the latest Diablo game that doesn't actually have Diablo in it. So you can play this game for about 2 hours, because that's how long the battery lasts on a deck with this thing. But it's okay, the whole game is only like 8 hours long, so that's 4 fairly long shits before needing to recharge, which will finally make you get up and let somebody else use the bathroom. Away, away, away. So, do you need to have played the first Kingdom Come to play this one? Well, let's find out together, fellow wannabe shit-covered peasant, because this game, barring perhaps, is by far my most anticipated game of 2025, February, the first week of. You never know, maybe Metroid Prime 4 really is a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, and maybe it won't suck. Okay, I'm pretty confused too. I thought I bought Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance, and not Call of Duty Middle European History Edition. How do I use this gun? That guy should have looked up. See, curious that because Kingdom Come 1 was the definition of a stop-start game that stopped and started more often than actual progress in democratically elected Western government. Less so because of the combat, which for the seasoned veteran of is really nothing so difficult as to ruin the day of all you idiots who can't wrap your head around the fact that stamina goes down with health when taking a hit, and mostly because I didn't know what the hell kind of game it was trying to be and what the kind of game I just bought with my allowance.
Good gracious, Henry, you don't mean to tell me you don't know Latin?
Henry doesn't even know English, he's supposed to be Czech.
Auden, whatever. The king is in captivity.
Verbal recap of the first game in case you're wondering. So instead of warrior, wizard, rogue, you have warrior, rogue, and can slightly read and write, which might as well be a wizard. Makes sense, carry on. See, I actually like this because I too am marginally literate, so I get off on passing speech checks. So about Kingdom Come 1. Eventually it clicked, and the same goes for Kingdom Come 2. No, they really should remove Deliverance from the title, because we're not delivering shit anymore. Oh wait, we are, never mind. Keep the word, a letter. By Henri, whom plot contrives to reduce from a demi-nobleman to a shit-covered peasant, whom nobody believes is a demi-nobleman because he's now covered in shit.
Here's your sausage. My favourite is boar meat with rosehip sauce and cabbage.
Medium rare. An aristocrat.
You don't throw like that all.
This doesn't look it, but it's awesome. Now, how he became a demi-nobleman from a shit-covered peasant is handily recapped for you something like 12 times in the beginning, because let's face it, nobody has the time or patience to play through the entirety of Kingdom Come 1, and the series' target audience, being illiterate serfs covered in shit with access to Steam, it's likely you can't count on any of them being able to read the Wikipedia plot summary either.
She's a fine lass.
Yes, a fine ass, as we've already established from 2018.
fine lass, eh?
Yes, a fine ass.
You know one good blow will do the job.
Wait, are we still talking about the girl or caving poor people's head in with a mace?
Females! Let's go to them.
Yes, let's. Well, he's never getting his sausage back and his...
My favorite is boar meat with rose hip.
How Henry goes from fake shit-covered peasant back to semi-nobility is what is covered by this game. Mostly by cavorting around in a double act with gaming's most likable and sufferable asshole with surprising depth and charm, that is Monsieur Hans Capon, who forms a nice double act with Henry, but even that takes an admitted backseat to the true charm of the title, of which I believe we all of us have it backwards from the very beginning.
I can't see shit out of this thing.
Also recapped in dream form because the game is really afraid you don't know what the hell is going on.
I'm dead though.
This one? You see, despite common misconceptions mostly brought on from, well, the official advertisement and everything, Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance, Your Mail in 2 Weeks or Your Groshin Back isn't actually a historical medieval RPG.
Nothing. F it. Just tell them we'll wait for them in the tavern in Jelly-on.
I don't know where that is, but sure, whatever, f off my hovel. I took pains during the first game to make sure Henry didn't get a higher education, and yet I'm assumed to be able to read this shit now. 0 out of 9 stars for railroading me, game. This is surprisingly engrossing, no lie.
Done. Now, let's see what you've brewed.
Look at me, I'm practically a doctor now. Okay, Hans, while you're thanking our rescuers, I'm just gonna steal all their food because we need it. Oh, and you even gave me money after I stole all your food. Now I kind of feel bad.
And some wine! Oh, it's closed.
98% of this series is just playing with shit. The rest is a healthy discussion on the merits of equal gender employment opportunities.
I can't work. I'm a noble.
Followed by Manal labor, whatever the grade school shit this is.
This isn't a mess, is it?
Yes, I'm rich, I got the pre-order DLC.
I'll say I was ambushed on the way and they...
And beating the shit out of poor people who kinda want you to.
I'm sore all over.
Glad to be of help then. Take care.
Now, in the case of an RPG, the story reigns paramount over all else, and remains the reason you play the game, whereas all the gameplay exists to push you through to the next plot point. But Kingdom Come really exists as that whole guiding principle made in the fantasy opposite land, known today as the Czech Republic, by being a medieval life sim first, with a really good framing device.
Bless. What are you poking around that door for?
Oh shit, I was just following the quest marker to find a job.
So I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
I honestly didn't know blacksmithing had so much in common with male prostitution. In, out, blow when needed. Slap your own dick until it gets hot, cool off, collect payment, and go.
Your father taught you the trade well.
I'll be honest, everything I learned from him happened in a non-interactive cutscene. So you can be my dad now since you actually taught me stuff. I'm totally stealing all this shit to sell back to him later. No, I wasn't kidding, people were really gullible back then. Shut up. The point, therefore, is not bearing witness to Henry and Hans's plethora of daddy issues, but rather to experience the life of an average shit-covered nobody in feudal Bohemia, from the safety of your own living room where you can still turn off the game at any point, and be regaled with newfound appreciation for the modern working robot toilet that talks back to you.
Kurva, why do I even play?
Shut up.
Wagoners.
In this case, it means gambling. Gambling secure in the knowledge that it's the best way to make legitimate money in-game, mostly due to your ability to become a save-scumming asshole if you don't win.
Choose minors.
And do you have the badge for it?
Badges? What the f is this Pokemon gym nonsense? And keep playing in the same way you would a man who knows something the game doesn't.
I just can't believe it.
I honestly don't know why they bother with the saving potion thing, because if I can put up with repeatedly exiting and reloading the game, I'm obviously not going to abide by whatever stupid rules you put into place to annoy me. Yeah, no. Because this is the life of a common medieval peasant, isn't it? Compulsive gambling because Henry is too chicken shit to commit any crimes.
Nice.
And slowly getting richer off the backs of village idiots without access to the time stone.
My God, what a f*** up again. Money, money, money. You must have a lucky horseshoe up your ass.
Yeah, this is all I did for the beginning of the game in addition to looking for my buddy.
The one who ended up in the pillory with me.
Loads of people have been in the pillory.
It's kind of a free vacation when you think about it.
If you want something, wait till I've stopped being angry.
Oh shit, I was hoping to sleep here. Oh f***, I have to find a bed or something before sundown because I don't want to get robbed. I'm the robber now. Off.
Can that be right? Salvation cannot be for sale.
That priest is going senile.
Over there and give them a taste.
I thought there would be an inn here. And that's why you don't need to play Kingdom Come 1 in order to get started with 2. Why would you? All you're doing is experiencing life in servitude to your betters while slowly coming to the realization that existence is really boring before the invention of LAN parties. And if you get bored enough, there's just so happens to be a pretty engrossing plot about a Bohemian civil war to keep you occupied, so you don't cancel your non-existent subscription once you realize, like so many MMOs, running on a treadmill will never actually get you anywhere in life. Shut up. See, I'm going on a quest now. Are you happy? I'm gonna find my dog, and then I'm gonna take my sweet time playing the rest of this game because it's the most immersive experience you can have since Red Dead Redemption 2. And also because I already bought the gold version with the season pass.
That poor fella didn't have anything interesting on him, but you might.
Oh shit, I shouldn't have flaunted my wealth. I'm getting robbed. Joke's on him, I was already a robber from before. Where the is that horse I stole? Now I gotta walk all the way back.
Good day.
Look, Henry is a good boy. He's just made a few bad decisions, that's all. Mostly on account of, well, me. So do you imagine people who are illiterate are angry if you point it out and make fun of them for it?
Without all the poetic horseshit.
And then you'd have to beat a hasty retreat because the modern world is really intolerant of intellectuals. So who could have known a niche historical RPG about how everybody sucked in feudal Bohemia, but still don't suck more than the suck sack of peasant shit Henry you were made to suck at playing with would. By 2025 turn into one of the best RPGs of the year, and the studio well on its way to becoming the Larian breakout of this year, whose claim to fame can be making a great modern AAA gaming experience that finally allows them to get a seat at the big boys table, where they proceed to eat everybody else's lunch.
Had enough!
God be with you.
Shut up.
Why do they call you Ignatius?
I really like Red Dead Redemption. Oh shit, is that guy getting robbed? I'm telling... Sir, I think somebody over here needs your help.
Prepare to fight!
Blood! Fuck's sake!
Man, cops are useless in this world. Gotta take things into your own hands. Shut up. Oh my Christian God, where the f am I? I'm gonna die of pneumonia. Have the Dutch even been invented yet?
Everybody was kung.
Hey, wait, is that is my lover Pebbles.
When was the last time you had a scholar in your mill who could read and write? What use is it to raise obstructions when the wind may drive the mill wheel just as water can?
Essekvam the deity. Go and haul the sack.
I'm telling you people, the Earth revolves around the sun.
Burn him!
Fuck, that's heavy.
I sure didn't know that, the game being a hit, I mean. I didn't even play the first game until something like 3 years after I got it and was put off on doing so, mostly by how insistently pick-me it was as a freebie in something like 12 bundles and 69 end-of-the-year epic giveaways. Hey, so should we be standing out in the rain like this? Because nobody invented penicillin yet.
That's the way!
Throat stab!
Oh, I know.
Have the Irish been invented yet? Because the voice acting accents are all over the place. Yes, I am a smarty pants.
What do you say, son?
And Kingdom Come 1 was like, oh, please give our heartfelt and dedicated love letter to a genre of CRPGs that don't actually exist to try, it seemed to say. We so ever long for the bygone years when a moron king ruled the land, or
Everything's computer.
ordinary peasants lived and died at the whims of wealth-hoarding feudal lords, and misinformation was rampant because your only source of news was the dirty wanderer from 3 towns over, who can't write or read, hasn't even seen half the shit he makes up, but you just kinda have to take his word for it because you can't leave the village where you work for fear of bandits breaking your legs, and having nothing to fall back on because university universal healthcare hasn't been invented yet either, and all the aforementioned feudal overlords just took all the taxes you gave them to build more castles instead of funding RRSPs.
So until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there.
Look at us, we're playing Metal Gear Solid.
Still a more pleasant death than getting your head smashed in with a rock. And believe me, I'll do it if there's no other way.
Fuck. Alright.
I'm only threatening him because I'm bleeding badly and he'll kill me in a fight, so winning speech checks is my only valid route to survival. Shut up, I'm not trying to hide corpses. Why? What have you heard? No, I'm not gonna drop these smelly boots. They're worth at least 10 cents. Man, I sure hope I'm not gonna get robbed for these smelly boots worth at least 10 cents. Worth it. They were at least worth 8 cents. I forgot what I was supposed to be doing and how I ended up with these boots worth like at least 7 cents.
I'm always glad to see.
Unfortunately, nobody else knows since everybody else in this game suffers from Alzheimer's, which also hasn't been invented yet.
Take care, friend. What are you here for, stranger?
Why did I?
The once-in-a-lifetime affair.
Oh, right, I was going to a wedding.
When you change into it, I'll tell you right away if it's appropriate for the wedding.
Welcome, Radovan.
Hey, it's that old dude who gave me a concussion before.
Of course, my dear. For someone so shy.
Hey, so who's the opium dealer at this party, or hasn't that been invented yet either?
And young girls are always in demand.
Oh, it's that kind of party.
Wine for the fair maid.
Get him drunk, get him... Ow, ow.
You dance like a fairy, Dobrovka.
Truly? No one's ever told me that.
Okay, but how old are you really? Because I'm playing this game in 2025 where we have laws for this sort of thing. So I have to talk to this guy and... Fine, you know what? Whatever, I'll go play Mahjong.
Wait till I finish dancing.
I'd take it.
Do you know what it means to think?
You shouldn't, it's 1403.
I've got a sweetheart at home.
Her name is Teresa and she has tits like a... This party is a f***ing den of debauchery.
You barbarian!
Henry is a good boy. Why does this dude talk like the Lucky Charms leprechaun?
What?
Hang on, I need to progress the main plot. Okay, I chuckled. I assume this means the game's writers weren't illiterate.
I have absolutely no idea who you're talking.
I'm way too drunk. Hey, it's my best buddy Hans.
You were worried about me?
And don't be offended now. He's not that interested in commoners.
But my mom was an official whore, so...
I can't swim.
What the f*** are you talking about, Henry? It's a f***ing puddle. What are you, Italian or something? Get in there.
I didn't see any sword.
Oh, never mind.
I found your sword.
So now we can get on with the game, and look, I'm just happy they spent the money where they should have because these cutscenes are really, really well done.
Older.
Well, this is awkward.
Boots!
Someone's been coveting the neighbor's wife, eh?
Shut up, Hans. Help me up. We're in shenanigans again.
Go back for us, fucker.
Quickly, for the love of God, sort out this rubble before they turn everything into firewood.
Oh, damn. Somebody called 911. What the f*** is? As it turns out, they were kind of right, so long as it's a fictional setting experience completely as an interactive virtual entertainment, which some of the illiterate morons still completely failed to grasp in 2025. So Henry really grew on me, and Henry 28 days later continues to grow on me to the point where I'm not so much playing the game to see through his story, even though I really, really want to. I'm playing the game to experience and live in the world as I haven't done since the days where I was on 2 separate occasions 2 separate grizzled, charming cowboys.
I behaved badly. Awfully.
Seriously, Hans is the best boy.
What about me? You're getting the gallows for poaching.
I don't know that guy, I swear. And that is honestly the highest praise one can give this game, even as I'm regaling you with my pointless meanderings around the world, that nonetheless carries value as entertainment on the merits of my witty commentary and all the dumb shit things Henry says and does as he tries to come to terms with his own story of going from a useless serf whose taxes pay for castles and yada yada yada, on point analogy for the fall of a modern empire, to being a slightly less useless serf who nonetheless now has a cushy job beating poorer people for rich assholes. But lest you think he's in any way competent, he still only got the opportunity because his mom literally f***ed the boss.
If you want to get out of here, you'll have to make amends and work off your debt.
So I'm just a peasant again, am I? Man, this game just keeps teasing you. History will absolutely vindicate me, because y'all are wrong about Star Wars Outlaws. No, yeah, that's why I ended up buying all of the DLC, because I'm not poor, I have good taste, and I'm pre-preparing for the inevitable deluge of Star Wars Outlaws retrospectives on YouTube, singing the game's praises in a few years and waxing nostalgia for the good old days before Ubisoft was sold off to the Chinese, and Canada didn't nuke itself so the dirty Yankees living downstairs can't get at our freshwater reserves. Why is Nicolas Cage in this game?
You know, I can, eat a peach for hours.
He always came first.
Is this DEI or woke overrepresentation of LGBTQ whatever in video games? I can't honestly tell anymore. Is this purging DEI or anti-woke or systemic oppression of LGBTQ? I honestly can't tell anymore. Who the f cares? That are all Look, I'm just saying, given the dearth of Star Wars games, not even the real quality ones like Yoda Windows 95, self-professed fans of the license can maybe walk into a sincerely made title with slightly more optimism for the benefit of your own mental health. You didn't even need those New Republic credits. Those are no good here.
Republic credits are no good out here.
Hey, buddy. You're not getting in, Kay. Club's already got enough rats.
Riff-raff, street rat.
This looks like a place where a girl can score some.
Wanna buy some death sticks?
An open world Star Wars game. Well, being blessed with more than a single digit IQ, I, unlike you, was never expecting some sort of Disney licensed GTA. Because how the f would the police wanted levels carry over from one planet to the next, huh? Instead, rudimentary speech checks should be enough and celebrate it.
Nice beater. Some scrap rats are outside trying to jack it.
What? Get out of my way.
As should be the mostly functioning stealth takedowns, and holy shit, that guy's gonna have to use the handicap spot for the rest of his life. Fuck off, if there was no yellow paint, how would I know where to go? Hey, are you guys being unfairly criticized by the internet too? Look at how AAA this game is. But how does the game play, you ask, to warn this hastily assembled opinion piece to right imaginary wrongs brought on by baffling misconceptions on what Star Wars Outlaws should or would have been? Well, I mean, it's a stealth game first and foremost, because Kay is too skinny and doesn't have murderous space wizard powers of the either or Canadian nice or stop being Canadian nice variety. With a mostly empty open world thrown in that I honestly didn't mind, that only acted as set dressing, and you're supposed to run through it the same way you would a malfunctioning Disneyland ride without staring too hard at the broken animatronics. She's a thief, right? She steals shit. I mean, how could you even dislike her?
Where's my cash?
She's essentially a gender swap version of Henry from Goodfellas. He who of the f you pay me outlook on gangster life.
You'll get paid once we're safe. You have our word. Wait! Nobody move. You either pay me now, or just pay me.
This girl is so adorable.
Join us and fight the Empire for the future of this galaxy.
What's it pay?
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
The side quests are all of the aforementioned talking heads broken animatronics variety, whereas all the main quests have the actual effort put into them with lavish cutscenes and likable characters and plot and shit. But hey, y'all liked or at least pretended to like everything from the first Spider-Man to this dumb fuck shit. So it seems to me striking a bit of a double standard to now profess dislike for this game because it's doing the exact same
Oh, you're serious?
thing. Exact same. Look, Spider-Man's open world was impossible to interact with in any meaningful capacity because lawyers made sure Peter isn't allowed to throw cars. And Horizon's The Adventures of the Least Likeable Literal Redheaded Stepchild of Gaming had gameplay that is by measures less fun than shooting stormtroopers with K because Horizon doesn't have access to the authentic sound effects library at LucasArts, which you'd think wouldn't make much of a difference, but you'd be wrong because there's a reason you can recognize the high-pitched whine of an E11 blast tech and the throaty crackle of a DL44 hand cannon with your eyes closed, simply based on ingrained long-term memory from childhood. And this is the origin of her kick-ass jacket on sale now in the Ubisoft store for $26 American. Oh shit, a minority. See, I can be easily distracted by a pretty skybox and some kick-ass jumps. That's to say nothing of the added bonus of, as I've said before, being very sincerely made in that if you choose to play with the huge black bars at the top and bottom of the screen, and squint at the bit in the middle where everything actually happens, it resembles very much an entirely playable season of one of the less embarrassing Disney-produced TV series that y'all spend way too much time writing critical essays of on the internet.
You're Torin Valerio Nump?
That's me.
Ow. That was, contrary to what you may believe, not an actual attempt at antagonizing your opinion, because I'm actually also one of those essayists with a long-held love for this series, which seemingly began and ended a galactic revolution based on nothing more than a stubborn unwillingness to go out and buy more power converters. Upgrades are sparse but meaningful, and so is the loot. Stealth is fully functional, if not particularly innovative. Plot is interesting insofar as any plot about a criminal heist can be. It's a f***ing heist. It's just stealing shit. That's the whole point, until you gotta kill a motherfucker. Scenery looks absolutely gorgeous. You know, I do have a hard-on for the illusion of player choice.
Tell me why I shouldn't have you thrown out of here.
I told you already, I'm selling out your competitor. Crafting is minimal, and if you're well liked by one of the criminal syndicates, you can just walk in and take all of their stuff to help with your own upgrades.
Huts didn't want.
See, talking heads. Space combat looks great and doesn't overstay its welcome. I'm rich, what of it? Look, I begrudgingly tolerated the prequels. Then when the sequels came out, I recognized the prequels for the cinematic masterpieces they actually are. In the same way, Rose stuck in dog shit is bound to smell better and look more beautiful. And of whatever ancillary narratives are available, I like maybe a third of it, but would have much more preferred the old expanded universe if only I want to see a planet dropped on Chewbacca in my lifetime. I don't know, I like this. Oh shit.
That's odd.
F you, game. Is that Krang? I exclusively f over the organizations that didn't actually exist in the original expanded universe.
I'm all for it. Governor Thornton knows what he's...
Love that sound effect. Come on, come on, come on. Tell me this isn't a scene straight out of the movies.
A bounty hunter working for Zarek Besh has been asking about your death mark.
How much shit will I have to steal to make all of this go away, do you think? See, now she's Han Solo. Also, I killed Boba Fett. Fuck, we have to exchange insurance info. I wonder if... Yep, there's fall damage. So, you guys gonna go on break or what? Yeah, what's not to like about this game? Besides the complete lack of character motivation and unexpected plot twists that are all actually there.
Kill me for a ship?
No. Is that robot flashing me? Who the f*** are...
Who are you?
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. So, as a Star Wars game, it's at least as good as Squadrons and narrowly edges out Jedi Ginger, which was 2 games of spinning in circles and going nowhere plot-wise. But what else is even there if you want a modern Star Wars game that isn't the MMO I'm not entirely sure anybody still plays or ever did, or the single-player portion of Battlefront 2, which lasts less than the time it took for you to stop watching this video. It's no Jedi Knight and no Knights of the Old Republic, but those games look like ass anyway, so in conclusion, by all means, don't believe everything you read or watch on the internet, outside of this video obviously, and give Outlaws a chance. If you're a true Star Wars fan, you won't be disappointed in the same way a fast food burger is rarely filling but certainly satisfactory. And with Ubisoft, odds are by the time you watch this, the game regularly costs as much as one, so you really have no excuse. Yes, I picked Tatooine. F you, if I had more imagination, I'd be a novelist. Happy Star Wars Day and may the 4th be with you! Also, f you, I was sick that week. But never let it be said I'm not willing to capitalize on a holiday that doesn't actually exist for people who just want to stay home and not have to work because the government told them to, by continuously espousing the merits of that one modern Star Wars game you won't actually acknowledge is a hell of a lot better than you've convinced yourself it isn't just because you don't like skinny girls who stutter or something. Nobody even lives here, so everything is fair game by interstellar rules of go f yourself. Anyway, Star Wars Outlaw. By measures, the best modern Star Wars game because Jedi whatever is forced spinning in circles for 2 games narratively, and I'm not just saying that because we all know we can't ever accept a Jedi hero who is also a Ginge. And Battlefront's campaign was pretty okay, but... Oh, it's over. This game is totally worth 90 bucks. See, this guy agrees. So let's just keep playing the one with the aforementioned skinny stuttering girl, who nonetheless immediately endears herself to me by being stubbornly dedicated to a life of crime, to the point that she ably outshines any number of morally bankrupt psychopaths
Fucking shit!
I've become acquainted with over the years of molesting pieces of colorful plastic built in a Chinese sweatshop.
You're about to get us!
Look at all this shit I stole. Look at my robot boyfriend. See how she's wiping sweat off her brows? That's because she's not a fucking lazy millennial and willing to work for a living. You can also trade with the shy midgets that go ooh-tee-tee. Yes, she's also a Disney princess, but not the one you're used to.
But you'll never.
Where's my car? Yeah, I think this is cool. So what? Why the f are you even watching this video? You're as big as nerd as me. Hang on, need to refill my prescription. Yeah, I think this is cool. So what? You... Holy shit, wait, let me get a selfie.
We can take him.
Oh shit. Don't worry, Kay is absolutely all in on the gangland lifestyle. And while the narrative catalyst for all her stealing and murdering is ostensibly the death mark she has hanging over her head, it's very important to remember she only got that death mark from all her stealing and murdering. And there's absolutely no guarantee she ever planned on giving up stealing and murdering, even if all her stealing and murdering eventually go as planned and leads to the removal of her death mark, which will undoubtedly be just put back into place once it becomes apparent she's just gonna keep stealing and murdering. Until Kay ends up presumably stripped and beaten to death by fat, out-of-shape white people and buried in a desert somewhere, conveniently on Tatooine. So cool. Why don't you like me? If there's ever a real-life adaptation, it should be directed by Scorsese. So a real kleptomaniac sociopath makes for an interesting character, especially one as unremorseful and unapologetic as one that shouldn't even exist in Disney's current era of family-friendly Star Wars output. No, I haven't watched Andor yet, off. And Kay's bubbly persona and adorable stutter really gives me the impression of a Disney princess fallen on exceptionally hard times and completely bereft of f***s to give, ever since turning to hard drugs and a life of crime after she was unfairly scapegoated for the failure of the live-action Snow White adaptation or whatever. No, I'm not kidding. Look at all this shit she injects into herself. And no, it's not Bacta. I know what Bacta is. I've read all the novels we don't acknowledge anymore. And you had to swim in Bacta to heal, so whatever this is in these vials, isn't liquid herbal remedy so much as it is the Outer Rim equivalent of PCP. How else do you think this tiny waifish woman is tanking blaster shotguns to the face? And how the f do you really believe she can slow down time for her dead-eye shootouts while surrounded by angry fascist American policemen from space? Where the f am I now?
You're all using sarcasm. I don't need help.
I can fix you.
Oh, Griff.
Oh shit, I forgot this wasn't a character study and I was supposed to be talking about the DLC. Hold on, gotta feed my space cat. Shit, even 3PO's turned to a life of crime. Yes, I know, wild cards. Hold on, I still gotta...
Seriously?
You're getting real pretty scenery here. What more do you want?
Enemies on our tail.
Oh shit. And then Kay meets some Quarians and tries their disgusting food.
You liking the larva?
Come on, come on, come on. Oh, you motherfucker, space nag. No, I don't have a problem. F you. I do need something to pay off the bookie though. And then Kay meets the Quarian queen and... What the f is that? And then Kay meets the mother of dragons and...
4. D. 5.
And then her boyfriend has a seizure and...
Grand prize is a moon.
Oh shit, you weren't supposed to see this yet. Motherfucker.
Looking for someone?
Yeah, some big-time sabacc player. Any idea who it is?
Oh shit, you weren't supposed to see this either. Her face has no wrinkles, she's not important. Huh?
Sabacc.
What?
Looks like I win.
Okay, I'll take it.
Let's go.
I forgot.
Oh wait, I was supposed to show you this.
I'll wait for you at the bar.
Kay's boyfriend has a real problem. See, this part is cool. You have to find out who the high roller card player is and then impersonate him or her. But you have to do it yourself like if you had brains or something.
Let the game commence. Round 1.
Fight!
How do you knock out a robot? How many people has Kay killed by now?
Let's meet.
Well, wildcards, what can I say? You see Lando again, and that's a plus for anybody who's been trying to cultivate his sexy mustache for personal use over the last 45 years. Not me, I'm totally hairless, ladies. And I still don't know how to play Sabek, but the heist and heist story is pretty interesting, and about the length of one of the big Critical Path story planet missions. So essentially, you're just bolting more of what you already like.
I'll keep watching.
And enjoy if you aren't a misogynist to the main campaign, and there are certainly worse things to complain about than stealing the moon with a mustached minority for about 4 to 5 hours while accusing everybody else of cheating at cards so they can all be dragged out to be shot by robots.
No. Maybe it hasn't seen us.
But probably worth waiting for the daily Ubisoft sale to pick up the whole package for pennies, because something tariffs. F you, Florida, you're not even supposed to be good at hockey. What the f is wrong with you? Do you even know what snow is? F off to your swamps.
Trust me, you're looking at a one-time baron.
Huh. Your lordship. I hope your rebel friends appreciate this.
Kay, it's been a pleasure. Andy, I'm sure I'll see you around.
Lando.
Oh shit, this DLC is only available at the end of the game? Well, better get to finally finishing it then, hadn't I?
I was born rich.
What else have you, been up to?
Who even does post-game DLC anymore? Mine. Still so AAA.
Well, this is a surprise.
Does Lord Vader have a cameo clause in his contract or something? Because I'm pretty sure this exact scene happened in Jedi whatever as well. Okay, I'm sorry I asked. No, really, post-game DLC. That is, aside from the random tacked-on New Game Plus mode some tattooed gangsters in Japan would rather you pay for, because it's pretty much a given these days nobody even finishes the games they buy, hence why everything front-loads the first third of the runtime with lavishly produced cutscenes and all the bells and whistles gameplay to make sure you don't regret your purchase for at least 2 hours. Run away!
For the rebellion, right? Ha!
The reason we're all here
is because I paid 90 Connect bucks for this game, which happily isn't broken anymore. And usually when you get to the halfway point, it just throws a random princess at you while yelling, "Here's your half-naked woman, now get the f*** out," because you're already past the Steam refund window. Oh man, I would totally want somebody to invent self-driving floating luggage if I ever left my house or like to travel in any way.
Nobody gets hurt.
Is there anyone in here not stabbing me in the back? Take this.
Our only hope now is the space cat. Come on. Get the f*** out of my way, I'm a fascist.
that we're brothers?
Brothers, who could have saw that coming, eh?
I can't stop until I find you.
This is stalker behavior, and I'm glad I have a restraining order against you.
You should have left me.
Wow, abusive ex much? Well, I got my robot boyfriend back, who betrays the guy who betrayed me, who then betrays his brother, who was an Imperial spy all along betraying all the criminals. And then we kill a lot of people and run away again before Kay has her requisite change of heart to help the good guys out because they're good and not because, you know, she wants to get fairly paid for her work so she can eat and stuff.
Say again. The Empire knows where you are. Can you hear me?
Diverting power to deflectors.
Daniel, did you get out?
You can see that.
And whoever you were buddies with or shipped the most heroin for turns up to have your back. Shit, I wish I was nicer to Jabba.
I see why Gorak approves of you.
And then we blow up the, well, not the Death Star, but more like a government-owned truck parked in the Death Star parking lot. But it's still something before we're finally ready for.
Hey, there is some sort of beeping in the ship.
Like a bomb?
My sensors don't detect any threats, but you should come investigate yourself.
It's just all that stuff that came with the Season Pass.
I can't live.
Okay, so the first bad thing about the DLC is... Motherfucker. I've already been here. Wait, Kay can't swim? So first impressions are not good. You don't start with a riveting lead-in to sell what you just bought, but get sent on a chase throughout all the places you've already been. Finally! As is usually the case with even the good games, DLC just keeps bolting more stuff into the middle that you can play anytime you want, until you don't even want to play anymore because human life is limited and you only have time for one playthrough of a 100-hour RPG, and you don't even know when you should start because they just keep bolting more stuff into the middle of it.
Sounds like a vote.
Strangely democratic pirates, honestly. A pirate's fortune therefore being somewhat of a rarity in this day and age, being actual post-game DLC, for a game that by all accounts sold like shit is doubly bold of the developers for assuming anybody finished Star Wars Outlaws to begin with and want more of it. And also I feel shorthand for the game's fortunes itself by doing all the right things nobody else is trying anymore, which will probably have to wait to be vindicated years and years down the line, when this game starts showing up on a lot of best of lists, because it takes years for people to properly recognize the good things in life they took for granted, like being able to hang out with Star Wars Captain Jack Sparrow.
I am the great Captain Hondo Onaka.
Okay.
As we finish Kay's story of stealing shit to learn she still just wants to steal more shit, is when we start the DLC, at least until we get to the asteroid jail where we meet. Look, if we're being honest here, I appreciate they got the original voice actor in for this guy, but I never watched the series and therefore has no prior sense of misguided loyalty to go on. So all I can say is he is tolerably charismatic even if the rest of the DLC is sweaty balls. Run away! The story itself is far more side plot than proper epilogue, being essentially another episode of Kay wants to steal shit because she can't stop herself and there's no medicine for kleptomania in a galaxy far, far away, and her robot boyfriend would rather she not, but since they can't have kids, what else are they even gonna do to pass the time? This is the new area, indistinguishable from the old area. Fuck you, flying missions.
I find it hard.
That mask isn't helping. We know you're the stripper race.
Can't wait to hear it.
DLC's over. I wish. And the gameplay, well, what's there is good already, judging from the dozens or so hours you will need to have played at minimum to end up at this point. But all you really get is a new ship that plays exactly the same as the old ship, which you don't even get to use for more than once until the DLC is already over, and then what the f is even the point? You can also do drive-bys now. Kay's a real gangster. Whoa, look at a spider. But even purely on the merits of it being essentially just more of Star Wars Outlaws, I'm not entirely sure why this particular DLC deserved to be post-game, since it honestly isn't closure and crucially doesn't even have an ending itself.
Just look for a power source.
That robot is telling you to go f yourself.
I said, walked into my trap.
Run away!
You're not helping.
Run away! No, I don't care about spoilers because we've already finished the game. And if you didn't know Luke comes very close to committing fratricide, that's on you.
Unhand me, you sludge-covered bog hound.
Shut up, your gimmick is wearing thin.
We should be getting our credits the old-fashioned way.
I agree. Why aren't you people robbing cruise liners and space banks? Once again, democracy pirates. So the whole point of the DLC was to get to a vault with supposedly untold riches inside. But by the end of the DLC, nobody gets into the vault with supposedly untold riches inside. You get to the entrance, hold a vote, and the other pirates gets their feelings hurt and throws a hissy fit.
Screw you guys!
And then everybody goes home. Well, that was pointless. No boss fight, no revelation, nothing which can even be remotely construed as a conclusion to the story, before promises of further adventures are made that will never be realized because, again, the game sold like shit, so just buy it on sale, but maybe don't play past the ending unless it's really, really cheap. In that case, what else were you gonna use that $5 for anyways? Lottery tickets? Get the f out of here, nobody wins those. They're all rigged. Meanwhile, Kay just goes home to f her sentient vibrator or something.
You know what I did before I met you?
Okay, so the first thing y'all were all about Avowed is that it was never supposed to be Skyrim. Or Oblivion. Well, this is just economic game design because why spend money for a fancy cinematic when you already have the concept artist on payroll? And presumably in America, you're holding the sword of emergency hospital visits of Damocles over his head at all times. Wait, are we just making the zombie thing from The Last of Us? Look, if you're given a xenomorph face hugger that's presumably a sentient piece of Groot's ass, I think you're obliged to use it in order to prove you're not a motherfucking boring motherfucker with no motherfucking imagination. Oh, there is a cinematic. Guess the concept artist quit to move to Canada for free healthcare. I'm gonna spoil the game now and say it's about the origins of the T-virus with magical pirates. Anyway, my point is illustrated with, well, this thing because I can't be asked to reinstall those other games, and also because honestly I expected better from humanity lest I start drinking again. Hey, can I kill that monkey? Because if I can, Hogwarts Legacy can further go f*** itself. Okay, so nowhere can I recall at any point Avowed being advertised as a Bethesda game. You know, here's a big world, it's pretty interactive, come live in it and maybe take pictures of the stupid bugs to post on social media. Install 50,000 mods mostly having to do with adding anime tits to everything, and if you have any time left over, maybe actually try to follow the main plot, which is usually shit. Bethesda builds worlds, quality not guaranteed, but this is Obsidian, the nerds who aspire to be taken seriously as writers and just want to tell you a story. Usually a pretty good one.
We don't have to like.
Oh man, I'm not using the third-person camera anymore. That jump is floatier than Mario. I think they forgot to texture the interiors of these chests. Let's talk about that and the many other ways you're also wrong about Avowed throughout this video. That's what we call a hook in the essayist business. So I noticed there's also a game called Unavowed on Steam, and I feel I have to let know everybody who also wants to buy Avowed that once you have it, I'm pretty sure the laws of the universe states you can never play Unavowed because owning both is probably a crossing of the streams kind of situation.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Not particularly interesting, but good to know because reviews are actually really singing the praises of both games.
Whatever's on their faces.
Whatever's on your face makes your conservative parents ashamed of you. So apparently the cinematics director also left for Canada because without even the courtesy of a transition screen, you arrive at the mainland from being stranded on the island, which was apparently all of maybe 8 feet away all along. So I don't know why I couldn't have just dog paddled.
Your face.
Your face is ugly, because it looks like the animation artist is also thinking about moving to Canada.
A message from the government of Canada.
Better yours than...
You're Gare, so I can't get mad at you. It's not allowed by law or something. Anyways, you're also wrong about Avowed if you think it's a tentpole game or a killer app for a system seller or whatever language Xbox groupies used to make themselves feel less dirty in the morning. Is it worth 90 Canuck bucks plus Quebecois taxes? Acheter Canadien, vive le Canada, ho ho ho.
A message from the government of Canada.
Well, honestly, I think they only spent like 69 American toonies making the game because it's cheap as f.
Bring me his map. I'll be glad to pay.
What the f? Why am I picking up odd jobs at the dock like a common hooker? I'm an official ambassador and that's at least a high-priced escort in terms of geopolitics. It's always nighttime when you make camp. Sure, whatever. Garrus is illiterate in this game, but he does own a gun, so I guess the joke's on me. Where can I get one of those?
Come and get me! Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after. Are you blind?
The guy responsible for writing multiple lines of ancillary dialogue is also moving to Canada. The guy responsible for making the animation of your guy putting his hand on the big rock has already moved to Canada. What the f***? Okay, I mean, Henry's poor as shit, but really turned out his pockets to make sure his shit-covered cutscenes are lavish and well-directed, whereas in Avowed, you get one opening cinematic, followed by scrolling text over context art. And during the first big plot point where you touch the Prothean beacon for your mandatory dose of hallucinatory prophetic bullshit, you're basically stuck talking to a slightly animated screensaver that sasses you. It's apparently a job requirement for diplomatic ambassadors to also be good at parkour. Huh? Hang on, gotta eat.
Envoy.
Well, game's over, go home. So the cutscene guy obviously moved back to the US after finding out free healthcare doesn't cover the drugs.
A message from the government of Canada.
So did the hand animations guy. When he found out, he still has to buy his own weed. Also, Obsidian obviously employs some pretty clever accountants because if everybody gets fired when a studio's game doesn't turn a profit, the simplest solution, therefore, is to make the game for as cheaply as possible so as to make losing money nigh on impossible. Ideally by nailing the feet of the NPCs to the ground because it was either animating walking for background extras or a semi-carton of eggs in the break room fridge, and you know Americans can't afford eggs by February of 2025.
Envoy, Could I speak with you?
No, I'm too important. How many made-up words are in this game? And yes, I didn't even notice, and they probably would have gotten away with it until the internet told me. And now I can't unsee it. Thank you very much, you nitpicking bitches. Bitch! What I did notice, however, was the game stuttering like a nervous politician explaining his evaporating lead in the polls whenever there are more than 2 buildings on screen.
I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business.
Pick the intellectual, because then you get the speech checks where you can make everybody else feel stupid about themselves.
Alright, that one's not for sale.
I don't even know what this is, I'm not smart enough. It's not even a prolonged stutter, but a tick every time you move, and I even think I figured it out. Feel free to send that QA check my way, Obsidian. How many made-up swear words are in this game?
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, I feel like throwing up too. The stuttering only happens on the big overworld map, so I guess it's trying to calculate a bear shitting in the woods, even as I'm working out my own murder mystery in the middle of Times Square. No, I'm right. The stutter completely disappears when loaded into an instance, so my question is, why the f wasn't the entire game just connected instances? Your open world is neither open or a world, and being brutally honest, you have no f***ing idea. So why not just play to your strengths? This spell just gives me a stick? I'm not even good with sticks, I'm an intellectual. In that, you're also wrong, because Avowed isn't even a traditional CRPG the way humanity's greatest cultural achievement is. Because it's not trying to simulate every possible outcome of a player saying, yeah, but what if I just, and then proceeding to roll double boxcars, and the dealer dungeon master just has to hold his head and go along with it and try to make it all make sense. See, it doesn't lag in here. You know what, bitches? You're right. This is pretty noticeable and immersion breaking. Bitch! Mine. I don't know how often is this gonna come up again. Okay.
Perhaps higher education.
I'm just here for your stuff. Hey look, I can fart acid out of my hand.
As you know, Kai and I have worked together.
I'll be honest, the story is pretty intriguing. I'm not entirely sure what it's building up to, but I'm interested to find out. 0 out of 10, can't kill this chicken.
Naturally.
So, you admit you're a charlatan. I did read this, and yes, it is well written. No, you're boring. Shut up.
No one will challenge our presence in the living lands.
I, for one, am proud to be a colonialist. Look at the consequences of my actions. Best RPG ever. Oh good, I can still go back if I want to, so I don't miss any side quests.
Aware, I can see you digging through my thing.
Oh shit, the internet told me you didn't give 2 shits about my stealing. Whatever, here's what I got. What's wrong with your arm? Hey look, I found a gun.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy.
Are you a godlike?
I don't know, do you blink?
Dare you use that?
Also, why do you guys hold conversations while standing rigidly side by side? Okay, so the game is really more of a slightly dog-eared choose-your-own-adventure novel where the point is just to get to the next dialogue tree. So you can pick the most sarcastic speech check to find out more about the weird world, and pretty engrossing plot about a magical plague and a fantasy take on colonization, with muskets and cutlasses during the Great Age of Sail. I'm not the only asshole here, look at my dwarf.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Wait a minute. Plague? Colonialism? Magical pirates? This is just Greedfall, isn't it? Well, I guess what I'm saying is just play that one while waiting for Avowed to be patched, so it doesn't stutter like shit anymore.
Check the board for work.
No, I'm here for a good story, not busy work. Also, not whatever the hell this is.
Friend?
That's more like it. Okay, so I think in a year or two, we'll look back on this game as something definitely not as fondly remembered as The Outer Worlds, which I'm still convinced none y'all actually understood what the f the story was all about. But I digress, and that's because I finished the game a hell of a lot sooner than I expected to, and came away a hell of a lot less satisfied than I thought I would be, like paying for a high-priced escort who turns out to be your twin sister. So given there's no Lannister or Targaryen in this high fantasy setting, you're just left with a whole lot of silent awkwardness as you contemplate whether it's not appropriate, and if you can still get a refund for the whole thing after 2,000 hours. Let's find out why. Number 1, this shit is pointless. And it just causes you to start drinking again. Oh man, I drank too much.
So many of my kin are dead by your hand.
Sorry. Number 2, everything I picked up was pointless. Number 3, most of these choices are pointless.
This isn't it.
Number 4, most of your companions are pointless. Because I never really had to upgrade anything, or the act of upgrading gear was so overbearingly annoying that I just didn't bother with it. Go out, get parts. Go to camp, discover your missing parts, pick up camp, get parts. Go to camp again, not everybody you work with thinks you're bipolar or something. Nobody ever sells the things you need either.
Indulge me. What are you excited to learn about?
The main plot is still interesting, but
I've got nothing.
The execution, unfortunately, is really less modern Fallout New Vegas, what makes up the high standards of a first-person CRPG, and more Borderlands for people who slightly know how to read.
Must be way close.
Also, I don't know why these puzzles are here because I only had to solve like 2 in the entire game. They didn't even have enough money to animate her mouth moving. And for a CRPG, there are surprisingly few speech checks that will allow you to talk your way out of a problem, like the intellectual savant you planned out on your character sheet. Oh shit.
His people burned my city.
No, I didn't.
God, I love that tiny woman.
Yes, thank you for changing the subject. Anyway.
You heard Vidal. The settlement is done for.
This settlement is our home.
You may be wondering why I'm not using magic. My answer is, why the f would I? I have a gun.
You irredeemable fucking swine!
You know, it says something about the story that by the time you get to the 3rd biome, you still don't have much of an idea what the overarching plot is trying to tell you. Look at that guy. His name is Nameho. What a horror.
The only strange dreams we've had involve your mother.
Yeah, no lies. Mama's hot.
Are you smoking Sveff?
Where can I get some Sveff?
A message from the government of Canada.
You know, I could totally believe this game started as some sort of live service looter shooter or something, with all the different biomes, focus on combat and loot drops and parkour, and yet, if somebody told me that was the case...
Another shit atop the pile. No!
See what I mean?
Barrett's balls.
You can press a button and the game will tell you in detail what's a Barath and how sweaty his balls are.
I've got to take some supplies to that.
Off. Yeah, budget is a real problem with this game because the desert level pulls double duty as the snow planet as well.
Are you messing with me?
Maybe.
It's either too hot or too cold.
Oh look, actual plot development.
We are not getting up there.
It's like they had to hastily reassemble the game into something they know once they realized they didn't know shit about making Destiny. Or what the hell is going on here? Look, food stamps ran solo at this point. They couldn't even afford to texture the models. Fuck you.
But this just seems unfair.
Yeah, I don't think you can avoid this fight.
Let us offer you an...
Oh man, not you again.
Wake up! Wake up!
Oh shit, zombies are killing my frame rate. Despite nothing in this game looking as good as if it deserves to do that.
With cannons or steel.
So you guys want to help or... Well, I mean, I wasn't exactly expecting Helen of Troy under there, so the game boils down to go to place, make one big choice. It's a far cry again from a studio of this pedigree, which even in the criminally underappreciated Outer Worlds, boil down to go to place, make many small choices, and also if your speech skill is high enough, you can play through the whole game and not have to kill shit.
You're a disappointment.
Metaphors, motherfucker. What the hell is she doing?
Anticlimactic.
I had a good time reading this note, I'll tell you what.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Actually, one kinda does.
It is folly.
Turn your ass around.
Yeah, but what if I...
Assholes!
Hey, so I happen to be a door-to-door vacuum salesman.
Who let them in here?
Asshole!
I don't even know what it is I stole or desecrated. Everybody in this game gives each other side-eye as they're talking, but I can't even do that because I have no eyes.
Help! My gods, they're killing us!
Yeah, let's not help that guy.
Didn't stand a chance!
Garrus, stop stealing my kills. I was about to shoot him with my wizard gun. Stupid bug. Oh man, that one kick used up like half the budget of the Outer Worlds too. I don't know, what do you think I should pick? Actually, never mind, I was kidding, I don't care. The relics of the game that never should have been made in the first place.
Another win.
Shut up, Garrus. Talking to glowing rocks and screensavers is the extent of the animation budget this game has. So why is it charging us for full price again? And considering how much I actually enjoy the Pillars universe, this really does feel like a considerable step down from the isometric games that came before.
We have waited so long.
Yeah, let's get this over with. Oh look, they found some money! And now that money is gone, because all we can afford is this glowing Transformer's head with a faulty battery. Even the poignant emotional mind trip moments somewhat lose their effect, when it's just two guys standing side by side reciting their lines, with their feet bolted to the floor. Oh come on! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!
You could have turned off the trap's thirst, right?
Shut up, cat lady. Hey, what happened to my gun? Oh man, am I glad I played the whole game in first person, because I'm just seeing now how these boots absolutely do not match with the rest of my ensemble. Yeah, I freed a long sleeping god and all I got for it was this crappy effect. And then we go home and shit's burning, and it turns out the game doesn't even have enough of a budget for a real final boss. So we just fight Lady Skeletor again apropos of nothing for a bunch of good-for-nothing freeloaders who can't fight their own battles.
What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
No, how about you? Sure, whatever. I forgot you can't move from your spot. Honestly, I expected to get at least 2 more videos out of this game. But going back over my footage, it just made me realize how much of it could be cut without losing anything of value, and consequently made me realize just how much of the game was cobbled together from something that wasn't what it ended up as to begin with. Okay, here she is. I'm gonna kill her with snowballs, as is the Canadian way. Go on. She doesn't even have any more forms. She just keeps coming back to life as if she's hoarding Phoenix Downs. Okay, I win. You get some endings, and yet it pales in comparison to the Outer Worlds again, where it was obvious that game was made to be a dedicated CRPG to begin with, if constrained by obvious budget issues, whereas Avowed reeks of blowing all of that sweet Microsoft money on a wannabe Destiny Borderlands, before the nerds at Obsidian realized the only thing they were ever good at was writing dialogue trees, and then hastily bolting one onto this game. Very disappointed, but no, I'm not gonna stop buying your games, because sunk cost fallacy is a real problem for addicts who don't know any better. So you like wastelands and cowboys and alternative history, eh? Well, it just so happens I also write books. Genuine novels with plot and characters, and this one is available now on Amazon about an alternate World War II Pacific theater that is like Firefly mixed with Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, feed us into your Nazi boss.
And I also have a Patreon now where if you subscribe, you get DRM free versions of the same books as soon as they come out. Why? Because I like money. Also because I'm posting entertainment opinions on YouTube, so frankly I should have done this years ago because you know I'm completely without capability for shame.